Hello, 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 everyone. It is Teresa from Teresa's Spot for Art. Welcome to A Christmas to Create, my ornament series for 2025. We're going to be doing this wood tag today. You can use any surface you want. You guys, I always tell you that. Use what you have. We're going to be decoupaging. I picked two napkins basically in the blue family because I'm going to do it front and back. So let me turn you guys around and I will get started and we can chit chat while I am creating. So I have my silicone mat, I have my surface, and then over here I have a little bit of plaid linen, and plaid folk art white paint, and I'm just going to base coat my ornament. You don't have to do this. It probably wouldn't make a difference with the blue one, but it will make a difference with the one with the trees on it and the light blue and the white on the bottom. So that's why I'm going to base coat. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do, right? So let me move this out of the way so I don't get them painty. And I'm just going to, it's just a very light coat and a very light color as well. I could use navy if I wanted to underneath that dark blue napkin. That would probably look really cool. But since I'm doing it two-sided, I just got out the linen and the white paint to do both sides of this. A little schmeg in my paint. I don't know where that's from. So, and now I'm just going around the edge. You don't have to paint around your edges. This is beautiful wood. These tags, I've had them for a while. They were originally from Essential Stencil, because I also love their tag stencils. But I don't know that they sell these wood tags anymore. That might have just been at the beginning. I'm glad I bought a bunch because they're a nice size. They're an awesome quality. And the wood is just so beautiful on them and smooth. Okay, we have to figure out how many plies our napkin is. I'm going to open it. Oh, look. It has the white one on this side. I didn't even see that. Look at that. Blue, blue, white, white. Gorgeous. Okay, so we want to see how many plies. Napkins are sometimes 2-ply or 3-ply. That means layers, okay? And you need the topmost layer of your napkin. Sometimes it's a little hard to find. Sometimes I need a little piece of tape. Sometimes I have to lick my fingers. But you need the topmost layer of the napkin. Some napkins are easier to get apart than others because they're less quality, actually. But they're still just as pretty. But the ones that are a little bit difficult to get apart, those are usually the more quality napkins. But it doesn't matter. Napkins are gorgeous. It's amazing to me how they've become a work of art in and of themselves. There we go. You want to gently, extremely gently, pull apart your plies. Now, this is only a 2-ply napkin. Thank goodness for that, or we would have been here all day. Now, sometimes I cut the part I want first and then just only strip that, but it's not like I'm going to be using this napkin for anything, so why not do the whole thing now? If you don't want to be bored with this part, just hit the fast forward. That is the beauty of video. Have you been enjoying this series so far? I have. I like doing ornaments with you guys. I feel like ornaments create confidence. They create a lot of things. They create beautiful ornaments, but they also create confidence. So sometimes maybe an entire painting or an entire 11 by 14 project or creating a journal, maybe that's too overwhelming. Maybe you don't have time for that. Maybe you don't have the supplies for that. But if you take a blank, and you can even do this, honestly, you can do this on cardboard. I tell people that all the time. Did you get pizza? Save those lids, not the greasy bottoms, but the lids. The lids to those pizza boxes can make ornament, can make amazing blanks for creating. They're sturdy, they're not too thick. And so I feel like ornaments are a great way to test your creativity and gain some confidence in your creativity, because you're not using a lot of supplies, you're not using expensive supplies, you're not using a big blank, you're just having fun. And so I like to do these ornament series. I even did one for Halloween this year. There we go. Some people keep this. I do not. Well, not always anyway. Okay, now I am going to cut this one out. Which, like I said, I could have done this first. But I have to do the whole napkin anyway, because I'm going to be using this napkin. I have a napkin for the 12 days of Christmas that is so beautiful. I'm going to make a sign or an actual 12 by 12 project with it, because it is just so gorgeous. I have my Mod Podge brush. I'm going to open up my Mod Podge. Some people like to put their Mod Podge in a small container. I'm not one of those people. I know people say you contaminate your Mod Podge by dipping in and out of the brush, and your brush in and out of the bottle. But sorry, that's just how I roll. So I'm just going to put on a thin coat of this Mod Podge. You don't need a heavy coat. If I was working with, oh, got something there. If I was working with copy paper or cardstock, I would use a much thicker coat. But since I'm working with napkins, when you work with napkins and tissue paper, you just need a very light coat. Now, I want, and this is going to be a little difficult, to line the star up with the hole and get this on here straight. So is my head in the way a little bit, right? There we go. So I'm tapping from the inside out. I gently laid it down. And I'm just tapping out. If you get some wrinkles, it's okay. Some people don't like wrinkles. I don't mind them. Gives a little bit more character and a vintagey look. And I'm just going to keep tapping. Don't press too hard. You'll rip your napkin. And there we have. Let's see, did I line up? Oh, I did pretty good with the hole. Okay, now I'm going to get my Mod Podge. And again, easy, gentle strokes. And I'm going to work my way from the inside out. Let's move this one. The inside out. And we're doing like we're doing the top coat now. Working my way, my brush from the inside out. Don't be rough. You don't want to tear your napkin. All right, you just want to gently apply this top coat. I'm going to show you how to get the edges off when it dries. You don't want to go over the edges until it's dry, or your napkin will rip. You want it to be really, really dry. And I'm going to do this other napkin for the other side. I just feel like this one's going to be easy to take apart. And already it is. But I think this one is actually 3-ply. Yes, it is. This is a 3-ply napkin. Okay, there we go. So 1, 2, 3. So we want to gently pull this off. You can get 4 projects out of this one. Well, probably get a lot more than that, depending on the size of your blanks. So I'm going to cut out 1 square, 1/4. Can't spare a square. Who knows what that's from? Okay, now this is why I painted. I'm going to show you. This is why I painted my surface. Base coated my surface first. See this napkin? See how translucent it is? You can see my hand through it. By base coating the back of my wood, it's going to give a nice opaque background to this napkin. Okay, it is not completely dry, but it is dry enough for me to flip over and work on this side. I want to put a little something under it. There we go. I'm gonna get my Mod Podge brush, and now we're gonna just do the same thing. Base coat, this other side, light coat of Mod Podge. If this was a bigger project, I would Mod Podge in sections. I would start at the top or the side and gently work my way down. But since this is a smaller project, I think these tags are 4x6. I can basically see, and I can just drop my napkin over the top. All right. I think I have to decide too what we want. Do we want these? Do we want these? Do we not care? Do we just want the middle? Do we want me trees at the bottom? I'm just going to give a little bend in the middle and go for it. There we go. Again, gentle touch, going from the middle to the outside, working out the bubbles, and making sure it's nice and smooth. Now I'm going to get my brush and do a sealer coat. I just take this brush later and wash it with some dish soap, lay it down to dry, and it is good to go for the next time. I'm using a tiny bit of pressure as I work my way to the outside, but not too much. Not too much. Let's pop that. Because I don't want to rip my napkin, and I only want a light coat of this Mod Podge on my surface. Okay, let me do this too, because I didn't do that side before. I'm just making sure the paper goes right in the middle there and looks okay. Let me stand this up to the side. We have to wait for that to dry, and I will be right back. Okay, now once my ornament is totally dry, I'm going to get this little piece of sanding paper and I'm going to go around all the edges in a downward motion. See how now that's just coming off? That's why it needs to be dry. If it's not dry, it will tear. And I'm just rubbing this fine grit sandpaper right on the edge in a downward motion. Plus, if it wasn't dry, you wouldn't be able to hold on to it and you'd be ripping your napkin. I know they make these cute little sanding finger blocks. I don't feel like that's necessary, but if you have one, feel free to use it. And I'm just pulling it down as I go along. And we're just going to quickly do the other side. A little bit of napkin on the side, but don't worry, it scrapes right off. Okay. There we have it. Let's clean this up a little bit. Now the little bit of this silver sequins paint. Give it a shake. Open it up. And I'm going to get one of these scruffy brushes. But you could use a pouncer. You could use a regular paintbrush. And I'm just going to pounce around. I'm even using the cap because you don't really need a lot of paint. This is Silver Sequins by Plaid Folk Art. And I'm using this little tiny scruffy brush right on the edge and just going around the whole napkin. You can do the whole edge of your ornament if you want. You can paint the edge of your ornament a different color now since the base coat, or you can leave it. So that is the first side. Not too bad for eyeballing, right? And then I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. Now I'm coming around with the paint that I'm stamping into the edge. We could put some faux snow on here. Again, I tend to be a little bit of a minimalist, but you can make these as ornate and as fancy as possible. I like teaching you guys the tips and techniques you need, so then go ahead and make these projects your own. Now let's stand up. There it goes. I'm just going to take a piece of twine. This one is about, let's see, 15 inches. I like to fold it in half, put it through the holes, and then put the tails through that hole. Okay, make it snug. Then I like to take a wood bead and feed it through. Let's see if I'm able to do this. Give it a nice twist. If you keep twisting as you do it, you can get them through. So now we have a bead. You can put 2 beads, you can put 3 beads. I'm going to tie one more knot so the bead stays in place. There we go. And now I'm going to come up here and I'm going to tie another knot for the hanger. I don't have my glue gun, but I can take now and I can put some greenery on here. I can put a bow on here. And there we go. Let me turn you guys around. So simple, 2-sided decoupage tag ornament. Isn't that cute? I can paint these edges here. I can put some ribbon around there. But that's what we have. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.